Hi everyone, and welcome to day 6 of BDay Fun, leading up to my awesome birthday. So excited. Excuse me, so excited. Now, I've had another amazing question. I did actually put a post out on my socials asking for questions, especially for this 12 days of BDay Fun. And the lovely Renee Oz, I've linked to all her socials in the description, so please go and check her out. Is intuition always positive? If not, how do I distinguish it from fear induced by others? I love this question because there's, a few things to it. Number one, intuition isn't always positive. It's not always positive, and there's reasons for that as well. So the main reasons for me is when I'm actually in danger physically or spiritually. That's when the intuition isn't positive. So I've got a couple of examples. There was one where I was living, beautiful big street, and there was legal pedestrian crossings. Now I went to cross, and I did actually put one step on there, and immediately my intuition goes step back. And I did, and it was my intuition, not guys coming through. It was my intuition. And I stepped back. As I did, this car straight through. Now, if I had ignored my intuition and kept going on that crosswalk, I would have been collected by that car. Maybe, I would have definitely ended up in hospital, maybe even died. So that's the physically. Now, spiritually, mentally, that. Another time was when I was traveling, working in the healthcare field. I went to go into a new age shop. This time there was a voice. It was clear as though somebody was standing next to me, and it said, "Get out." I hadn't even stepped in the door, and it said, "Get out." I ignored it. I actually ignored it. And so I went into that shop. That voice didn't stop. It kept saying, "Get out, get out, get out." And I walked around, and I'm like, I can't ignore this voice any longer, because it did not stop. It did not stop. It kept saying, "Get out." And I later found out that the person working there that day was actually what's called a black witch. Now, the black witches, unfortunately, don't do things for good. And this person actually put spells on people that walked into the shop when that person was working there. And then recently, this is where it wasn't positive, and I ignored my intuition. I was guided to sign up for a challenge. I'd done it in the past, loved this person, thought, it was really amazing. Right from the start, as soon as I got the email to say that I had to download the app so I could watch the replay and do everything in there, I actually swore. I won't swear on here, but I swore. I just went far out. So that's where my intuition guided me. It was my intuition, but it was both intuition and me, because I knew this person. The intuition led me down the wrong path. It wasn't positive for me. And yeah, it was really frustrating. And interestingly, I sent an email to this person saying, "I'm not doing this challenge, and this is why." Not an email has come from that person to actually recognizing or even responding to my email. And that just means that I'm not going to go with that person ever again. If they can't even acknowledge what I've sent to them to say, "I'm not doing the challenge and this is why," because downloading an app means that you're giving the app permissions. And I don't want to download an app that I don't want to. You don't have to do a challenge on an app. You can do a challenge many different ways. Now, the next part of this question is, if it isn't positive, how do I distinguish it from fear induced by others? Now, one way that I do, and I do this quite often, is, excuse me, just releasing. This is not me being tired. This is me releasing for myself and others. Now, I love to ask, is this mine? Because not everything that I get is actually mine. sometimes because there's this beautiful stream of where everything is, all the thoughts, patterns, beliefs, everything is up there. And sometimes when I tune in, there's actually something that's not mine. So I will ask, is this mine? And that's especially if I get like, pain or something anywhere in my body, I will go, is this mine? Now, sometimes it will reduce. So part of it wasn't mine, some still was. And then if it goes, of course, it wasn't mine. Now, another thing I love doing is I love using my body as a pendulum. Now I've got it here somewhere, but you know what I mean by a pendulum anyway. I don't like using an actual pendulum because my mind will actually move that in the way that I want it to go. Whereas the body, especially when it's hydrated, it will always give you the answer because your mind isn't coming in. Now, what you do is you stand up, make sure that you're hydrated, and then you ask your body, just releasing, oh, I love this. You ask your body to show you yes, and your body will move in a way. So it will either move forward, back, it may even move one side or the other. It will only move one way. It won't move forward and back or side to side. It will only move one way. You know, that's yes. Then you ask your body to show you no, it will move in another way. Now, to determine that this is actually correct, you ask it questions that you already know the answer to. And you want to ask yes and no questions. So you can say, is my name such and such? Making sure you have your correct name. And then you might say, do I live in in this suburb? And make it wrong. See if it gives you the no. So ask a few questions to make sure your body understands what you're doing, and so you get the correct way. And so when something comes through, when you've got your intuition that's not positive, you can actually stand up and you can go, is this mine? And if it says no, then you can actually keep asking questions. Is this somebody else's? Yes. If you know whose it is, then you can actually ask that as well. Is this such and such's? And then you just keep asking to find out why it's come through. The reason is I've done so much beautiful work on myself and boundaries around intuition and getting other people's stuff that it doesn't happen often. It can still happen. Again, I'm not perfect. If I was, I wouldn't be here. So it can still happen. But the more I set boundaries and keep those boundaries firm, the less it actually happens. Now, thank you, Renee, for this most amazing question. And yeah, that's been, what are we up to? Day 6. I've actually got to take note of what day we're up to because I'm doing 12 in a row. It's like, whoa, stretching myself and I'm loving it. As you can see, I'm alive. So thank you, Renee, for asking that question. In the description, I've got a link to Renee's socials. So you can go and check her out. She is amazing with tech. Absolutely amazing with tech. And I shall see you for day 7.